I have such admiration for what you do. I think watching you, not just on screen, but in the flesh doing your thing, you have such a magnetic screen presence. And a lot of it, I feel like, has to do with the way you embody the character, obviously, in all facets. And in the character Kit, it's such a physical role. You know, she manifests in such an aesthetic, but also like the composition of you and the girls and some of the shots, is such an integral part of the storytelling. How did you approach the physicality for Kit? How did that start?
Firstly, thank you. That's very kind. I feel the same way about you. Okay, we'll get into that. No, oh my god, I'm so shy. But okay, so I answer this question first. I think a big part of it for me was because Kit is so sure of herself. She's so confident. She's so unapologetic. She's so unbothered that it was a lot of work for me to stand in that space. Because for me, I have strong feelings and strong thoughts about stuff, but I'm always kneecapping myself, and I'm always like, I'm sorry, did you understand what I said? I'm so sorry, I should have said that. Are you okay? Did I hurt your feelings? But Kit doesn't do that, and I think this feeling of her just really standing tall and firm and grounded and in her body was something that I really wanted to channel and to work on. Yeah. And then for you, because you're so talented, Ben. You're singing, you're acting, and just your personality.
I do everything at a 5 out of 10. That's basically it.
You do everything at a 5 out of 10?
I need to do less things.
Always does this. You keep talking yourself down. Stop
I'm
doing
kneecapping
that.
it, yeah.
So I want to ask, for this role, because the Ben that I've seen is really sensitive and very, you see? And very, sweet, and also very considerate. And this role is very physical and actually quite violent, right? I mean, you play a boxer.
I've been punching people for a few years now, so I had some practice.
Really, people, not just bags. Do you do fights?
Yeah, so just to give context, so I've been boxing on and off for about 5 years in the amateur circuit. So after a while of punching bags, you want to progress to different moving targets, i.e. people. So you do these things called technical sparring, or sparring where you're safe and it's play until someone decides to put a little sauce in it, which has happened on set as well. I'll tell you that. Not Yao, who's very considerate.
Right.
But I think it was just fun to put that on stage. I'm sure obviously dancers have their own language because it's a manifestation of who they are, and it's kind of your body language, but jacked up, and put on stage, right? So I thought about it. I was like, similarly, that would be the case for putting athletes on screen. How you move, how you choose to exert, especially when it comes to something like boxing, because to me, it's like a dance, like a tango. And much like acting, you're not just going through choreography, going through steps, because that would just be telegraphing things. In boxing, you never want to telegraph a move. You want to let your opponent give you information, and then you react according to that information.
I think it's so interesting to hear you talking about that in terms of boxing, in terms of choreography in boxing and responding to the other boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it feels more alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that maybe a little bit similar for you in terms of Kit's mannerisms from the day-to-day and how she carried herself onto stage? Did you feel like there was a train of thought, or did she sort of segregate that in her mind?
I feel that for Kit, her stage persona and her Golden World persona and her home persona are all different people.
Love.
Yeah. I feel like they're just all different people because they're different environments. On stage, she's happy, she's performing, she wants to make you have a good time, she wants to invite you into the world. In Golden World, it's like survival, don't trust anyone, nobody's my friend, And then at home, she's like, I think in a constant state of heartbreak, actually. Because watching someone you love suffer so much and not being able to do much except to keep her alive and to hopefully keep her out of pain as much as possible, I think that's just really hard.
That polarity is crazy. From where Kit is on the daily and then where she has to be. I know of certain performer friends who have this crazy, polarity in their life, in real life and on stage. Was that something that you also sort of clocked, that huge difference in terms of, mentally where she has to be
Yeah,
That
I
sort
think
of-
that, yeah. And I think because it's almost like second nature. Because, I mean, you also know, right? It's like once you get on stage,
Yeah.
it's like, they always say, leave everything at the door,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Once you get on stage, it's like, none of that outside world matters anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to exist,
Yeah.
right? How do you manage that, like, when you do your live performances?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think in the context of a character performing, right?
Yeah.
And then you always want to think about, like, as an actor, just staying present in the scene, making sure that you are giving the scene the attention it deserves, for example. But the body is a way of defying you, in a sense of, when you say, don't think about this, and then, that's trauma for you. And so, naturally, okay, that's why they say when you start sparring in boxing, for example, it's to go emotionless. Because there are emotional fighters, and when they take over, even in choreography on screen, then it ruins the moment, or it ruins your game plan, because you're ruled by your emotions, right? And it's kind of counterintuitive when you think a character like Lewis would be, oh, if he got beat up at home, he's gonna take it out in the ring, and that's the exact last thing you would actually want to do, but also you would do, because there's something so eloquent about letting the little universe that you're creating with your opponent play out, and then just reacting and being really surgical with it, as opposed to leading with emotion. And so similarly on stage as well, it's easier because I'm singing my own songs and my own words, right, as opposed to acting. So I think that's the distinction. But even then, like, if I allow, I remember this quote from Chris Martin Copley. He was like, he performed to these 50, 60,000 people, whatever, and everyone could be singing his songs, but he would see this one person in the photographer's pit just on her phone, and it will completely ruin his entire show. Well, he's not a theatre performer, so I mean, he's maybe not trained in the art of, like, whatever. But
Oh no, but
it
still
still
affects
affects,
you,
yeah,
you're
right?
human,
It's still very human, yeah. So I think that's why sometimes developing a physical language to the craft helps you recenter. It gives you very pragmatic tools to go. At this moment, if I'm facing a distraction, I go back into my body with maybe the physicality of Kit, or at least for me, it was, okay, what is Lewis's? If I struggled grasping at who Lewis was for that brief moment, my other entry was, okay, what's his posture? What's his oral posture? What's his fighting style? And then that helped me get in a lot easier,
Yeah.
Again, I didn't take this off a textbook. I was just, experimenting. But does this make sense? It kind of
Totally makes sense, because like I know on days when I wasn't feeling particularly confident as Yuen, or not feeling particularly in it as Yuen, like in myself, it was so hard to play Kid.
Right.
It was so hard, and I just had to go, okay, I need to cheat this, and
Yes.
assuming a posture, assuming
Yes.
a thing.
There you go.
Her eyes.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.